Movie starts with a race in which we are shown a bike race in which we see a man whose name is Lee, and Lee wins that race, and the one who lost was a girl whose name is Sue. Lee loved Sue, but she didn't pay any attention to Lee, and she left without saying anything. Just then, his friend Kasa comes to Lee and the two are returning home together. Suddenly there comes a man wearing a mask and he likes Lee's bike very much, and he also praises it. And he tells Lee to make such a bike for him, but Lee ignores him and leaves from there. The scene shifts where we see a little boy in a city. That kid does the work of distributing newspapers. The water of that city was decreasing day by day, due to which there was a shortage of water in the city. Then we are shown Lee, who works part-time as a delivery boy. One day a man gives Lee a parcel for delivery, which he had to deliver in another city. When Lee reaches another city, he sees that the people there are very happy. No one has any kind of shortage or problem, and he starts thinking that one is this city and on the other side is his city, where people are dying due to lack of water. Seeing all this, Lee gets sad for his city. On the way, Lee sees a small thirsty girl being denied water, so Lee gets angry and breaks the main water lock, leaving the entire city with water. Seeing which people become very happy, and seeing people happy, Lee also feels good, and Lee returns to his house. The next day, he is asked to supply another parcel, and when he approaches the parcel he finds that it contains a kitten. Lee tries to get the kitten to its owner, but he does not find his owner because the address given to him on the parcel was actually wrong, and Lee wonders what to do with this kitten. Then he gifts that child to his friend Kasa. Kasa gets very happy seeing the cat because that little kitten was so cute. Then we are shown that Kasa is a bar singer, and she sings every night in the bar. On the other hand, in the movie we are shown James, who is the villain's son. James is chatting with his assistant about the supply of water when Lee arrives with his friend, Kasa. And then James glances at Lee's bike, and he likes Lee's bike very much at a glance. After which he asks Lee to sell the bike, asking him the price of his bike. But that bike was Lee's favorite bike and he does not want to sell it, so he leaves from there without answering. Due to which James does not like all this. Now Lee comes to his house with Kasa and they start having dinner where Lee's father is scolding Lee as usual. Due to which Lee gets angry and in the middle he leaves the food, takes the Kasa and leaves from there. Just then, Lee sees that James and his men are following him. Seeing this, Kasa gets scared. After which both of them have an amazing fight. During that time we see that James also had some unique powers, using which he badly injured Lee, and then Lee's bike falls at Kasa's feet. Seeing this, Lee gets angry and today for the first time Lee also realizes his unique power. After which he attacks James with that power and injures him a lot. After which James runs away because he is very injured and comes home to get his treatment. After this, James' assistant tells the whole thing to James' father and says that Lee is Neja, who has now returned, threatening your son's life. On the other hand, when Lee regains consciousness, he finds himself in a hospital and sees that she is mortally injured. That's when his eyes fall on the doctor treating him. She is none other than Sue. He then goes to meet Kasa, asking Sue about Kasa. On reaching Kasa, he sees that Kasa's leg was completely damaged in that fight. This makes Lee very angry. Just then James' father comes to visit Lee and apologizes for his son's mistake and also returns his bike to him. Also offers a bag full of money. But Lee was very angry with what happened and he angrily took the bike from there. Seeing Lee's anger, James's father tells his assistant that before he becomes more powerful and gets his powers, finish it before that. At the same time, Lee is followed by his brother and he explains to him that don't quarrel with James' father in any way. Don't mess with him. Just then some miscreants attack Lee and try to kill Lee. These are the same crooks sent by James' father to kill Lee. They start attacking Lee badly. The crooks were about to kill Lee when Lee saved himself with his power. But then the maskman arrives and saves Lee's life. But Lee sees that his brother is badly injured and now he picks him up and rushes to the hospital. On the other hand, James tells his father to kill Lee. After which his father tells him his story that he himself is the Dragon King of the Sea and the wounds he received 3,000 years ago have not yet healed. He says that Neja is very strong and powerful. It is impossible to defeat him. Meanwhile, Lee goes to meet Maskman as he wants to know more about Neja. In the talk, Lee learns that James is the same dragon that Neja had killed. At the same time, James also learns how Neja killed him. He also learns that his father had killed him. Using full power, he was brought back to life by giving him a steel dragon spine. But after that, he lost his memory, and now James' father tells his son how he, along with his dragon companions, forced Neja to kill himself, but during that time a part of Neja's soul escaped from our clutches, because of which he is born again and again as a human being, and every time he has a different form, and since then we are keeping an eye on this city. Whenever we have any doubt on anyone, whatever, we eliminate it immediately. Knowing all this, James is ready to go to any lengths to take revenge on Lee. But his father explains to him that he does not have the dragon scroll yet, and without it he cannot kill Neja. So till then you can get this work done by someone else. For this, they reach the Maskman and ask him to do the work of killing Neja. And in return, they offer Maskman a lot of money. At the same time, when Lee sees his bike, he begins to visualize something and he gets angry, which causes his bike to catch fire, and the people around there run to extinguish that fire. Now Lee goes back to the Masked Man to meet him, and requests him to train him to control his power, and in return he also offers to give him his bike. The Masked Man agrees to give training and starts his training, and we see that Lee soon learns to control his powers. And now he has a final fight with Maskman, and during that Masked Man's mask falls, and we come to know that there was a monkey behind that mask. He gets very angry at Lee when the mask comes off, and Lee gets angry too, and Lee senses his power and wake up his power. Masked Man tells Lee that if you want all of Neja's powers, you'll need Astray for that, which is part of Neja's magic ribbon, and all the Astray is also with that badass Dragon King. The next day, James, along with his assistant, approaches Lee to eliminate him. We see his assistant posing as a monster frog and attacking Lee. And now there is a dangerous fight between Lee and Monster. And in this fight, Monster Frog is badly injured. Sam, a friend of Lee's who feels jealous seeing Lee's power, and meets James and says that together we can kill Lee easily. Now, in the next scene, Lee is shown sad at Kasa's house when Sue comes over there and talks to him and says that I knew you are not an ordinary person. You are totally different from others. On the other hand, Kasa gets up from her bed and goes to sit in one place because she was very sad. Just then, she notices a man who is trying to sabotage Lee's suit, and Lee's injured friend lying on the bed tries to stop him from doing so. But that guy kills him by pressing his face with a pillow. Kasa was watching all this from afar, and that guy also sees while looking at Kasa. Kasa tries to save her life and the guy goes after her to kill her. But then all of a sudden there starts to explode. That attack was done by the people of James. Now Lee also reaches there and starts fighting with them. Those people can't stand in front of Lee for long, and Lee starts getting loaded on them. But suddenly problems start in Lee's suit. But still Lee does not give up and continues to fight. But that fight kills Lee's father. This makes Lee very sad. On the other hand, when Masked Man reaches James' father, he finds that he has controlled the water of the whole city. And this is the reason why the whole city is facing water scarcity. Just then James and his father arrive, and then James's father tells him to stop training Lee, or else James's father will drag all the rest of the water into himself and set up a new world of their own, because he is the Water Dragon King, and with water his power increases manifold, because as soon as he touches the water, its speed is twice. But Masked Man refuses, so he tries to catch him, but then Lee also comes there. Seeing this, he also hides himself with water. And now there is a fight between Lee and James, and now he fights with Lee as a white dragon. But he is killed in that fight. Just then, taking advantage of the opportunity, a girl is about to attack Lee when Masked Man comes in the middle and stops her. Now that girl tells how many innocent people she killed in the past. Hearing that girl's words, Lee gets badly disturbed and tells her to leave from there. After the girl leaves, Masked Man also tells her the fact that he is also a monkey and shows Lee his ears, that he has 6 ears, and says that those people are using his Astray. Under the water, the dragon has a whole city of its own. Now Lee also understood why the city was facing so much water problem. Now Lee goes to meet Kasa. The same guy was pointing a knife at her, but Kasa hits him with the foot and he dies due to his fall. Now Lee goes to his father's grave and promises that he will save the city in any case. But Lee is very sad somewhere and he leaves from there alone. Then the Dragon King's men pick up Sue and take her away. Lee has also reached the Dragon Palace and tries to get his magic ribbon. So the Dragon King tells him that if he does this then Sue will be killed, and now he has come in his original form. Now he attacks Lee. A fight ensues between the two and the Dragon King begins to overpower Lee. Seeing himself becoming weak, today he wakes up to his Neja power. Then Dragon King also eats that dragon coil, and all his imprisoned dragons now come out and start creating terror in the whole world. Just then, Lee kills him using his Neja power, but Lee himself is killed during that time. Sue gets very sad seeing all this. On the other hand, we are shown the soul of Neja. Neja tells him to see his reckoning, but Neja transfers his powers back to Lee, and Lee comes back alive, which makes Sue overjoyed. Then Lee kills all the dragons with his combined power and saves the whole world from destruction. Now everything becomes normal and now the whole city becomes a happy city.